In this video, I am going to review a Thule Revert.
Set these hills on fire. Set these hills on fire.
All right, Thule Revert, a vertical rack. Why do you want a vertical rack? You want a vertical rack because you have a lot of bikes, a lot of very heavy bikes, e-bikes, downhill bikes. This started with a downhill generation, and now it's really become an important tool for e-bikes. Why vertical? It's because the bikes are equidistant from the vehicle. When you do the tray racks, you go farther and farther from the car, and the farther you go, the more leverage you have. It really doesn't work, but I'll show you some video what happens when you have 4 e-bikes on a tray rack. It's not good. Okay, so what we have here is the Revert, and it is significant because it is an effort by a major rack company called Thule, and they have a lot of testing. They are accepting that this is a significant part of the market. Yakima had one, but it hasn't been updated in 3 or 4 years. And we have a lot of small companies that dominate this market. And we will have a shootout in the next month or so. They're all shipping it to me of these vertical racks. Velociracks is kind of the gorilla in this space. And a company called One Up USA bought another company so they could offer something in this genre. So very important category. So Thule Revert, what does it do special? They have 2 racks, a 4 bike and a 6 bike. We have the 4 bike for you guys. When you get it, it's about 73 pounds. It is a good hunk of steel. It's as solid as they make it. That goes through their testing. They have a very simple design with straps. All the clearance is 12 inches between each bike, 63-inch wheelbase maximum, and 55-pound per bike capacity on this thing. And on a 4 bike, they can do 220 pounds. And on a 6 bike, they can do 250 pounds. So you can't really just put 6 e-bikes on a 6 rack. A 6 rack is more appropriate for if you have a big family. They have some couple e-bikes and a bunch of regular analog bikes. So definitely we opted for the 4 bike. And you know, there's a lot of weight on the rear of your vehicle, so you need a significant vehicle to carry it. And we do have trucks, but we said, hey, these things look really good on an SUV or a van. And we have a really cool long-term review on it because the owner of this vehicle is going to take this to Whistler from the Bay Area. So we will have an update in about a month, and it could be good, it could be bad, but we are not going to mince words with you guys. So what's really cool about this rack is how the bikes install for sure, and I'll show you that. We do have and how the rack installs, but the secret sauce is the thing with these racks is they're so heavy. 220 pounds for e-bikes coming at you, it'll throw you off. Or when you load them up, you have to lift them. So, and it's because all these racks, they tilt. They tilt for ease of mounting, ease of dismounting. So what they did was they put a pneumatic shock, a spring-loaded shock, just like your garage door, to make it kind of weightless to counter it. So it's good for about 150 pounds, what that shock does. So before I show you the demonstration, there is a safety. Before you play with this, there's a pin that locks this whole thing. There's no moving around. So let me take out the pin. So I took out the pin, and now you can tilt it. Now you don't have to tilt it. You know, if you think you're strong enough to just get it off the ground, like 18 inches off the ground, yes, but the way to really do it is tilt it so you can just roll it off. So let me support it with one bike, put the lever down, and then look at this. I'm not that strong, but look at that. One-handed lift. I would say there's about 20 pounds of weight is what I'm dealing with here. So very manageable. All right. So it's shock. Oh, I like that. So it's like your suspension. It's got a shock holding it that gives a little bit of damping. Wonder if it's adjustable. So to take it out, all you need to do is take the front strap out, take the rear wheel strap out, and when you take the rear wheel strap, the bike is naturally gonna want to float. All right, so you use that float to your advantage, and you see this rolling motion. That's key because you're rolling the bike off the rack and not lifting it. You roll it and it just continues to roll. Isn't that cool? So just be one with your wheelie. And one of the cool tricks I'm going to show you right now, because you're a good viewer, is to get on the wheelie, you just back up the bike and hold the rear brake. Now you're on the wheelie. Now you are ready for action. Just roll it in. And then the one tricky part is the rear wheel is not really going to stay there. Oh, sometimes it does. I got a little wedge action, and that makes it easy for you. You don't have to grab it. You can just strap it in. So, first impressions, we went through some gnarly speed bumps, the sharpest ones in our home base here in the Bay Area. And there's a lot of movement. But there's no bikes knocking around. They're not scratching each other. So it feels okay. But, you know, I wouldn't necessarily just ram them at high speed, or you're off-road and going high speed, because there is movement. You know, not a lot of creaking, but this thing moves with 220 pounds right now. That's what we're dealing with. So what do you guys think? I'm excited because this is really the first time we are just gonna beat up several of these vertical style racks, which is really key when you have a lot of bikes, a lot of heavy bikes. And we are gonna take it on a road trip and do some real pros and cons for you guys. But for now, I would say the pros are the quality is all there. The shock, I think it's just a requirement now to have a suspension to counterbalance the weight of your bikes, like much like your garage. Imagine lifting a garage door without those springs. And it's you know, it's just good to have a company with the testing and the backing, the warranty of a Thule to play in this marketplace. All right, thanks a ton, everybody. All right, let's demonstrate how this rack works. First, installing it in a vehicle, it's best with two people. It's about 73 pounds, and it has a self-contained hitch pin that gets out of the way, and you push it back in, so it will hunt. You can hunt for the hole on the hitch receiver that way. And then it has a self-contained cam mechanism that also has a lock, and I was able to really torque on it. This mechanism is a little funky because it folds initially, but once you get used to it, you see, just apply a little force to it, so to fold it and unfold it. And now this is the key thing to learn with this rack, is how to tilt it, because you are fighting that shock, that big spring shock that it has. So what you need to do is use your body weight. Use your body weight as leverage, and it will go down. And then getting it up, just hit that lever. That lever is nice and big, and it's damped, so it's not gonna jump up on you. And the key strength of this rack is mounting the bikes, of course, and being able to carry a big load. And we're gonna do both. We're gonna put 4 e-bikes, 220 pounds of load on this rack. So we show you it's not too bad, you know, putting them on, because you never have to lift them. You just put it on a wheelie by holding the rear brake, backing it up, and then roll it in. Because the front tire is always in contact with that front basket, you can use the wheel to just roll it in. About a minute per bike, but really I think it can be 30 seconds. Best with 2 people. One is in charge of rolling them in, and one is in charge of the straps. So they can work completely in parallel. They are out of each other's way. And the fact that it's tilting is good too, because you have room behind the vehicle and the rack to manage the straps. So the straps are really good, and the pins that you hook the straps to are very obvious. So nice big materials. They seem very durable as well. 2 straps on each end, but maybe that's more for 4-wheeling, extreme conditions. we feel one strap is enough for our particular testing today. And pretty cool. The bikes are pretty similar in size and handlebars, so there's no contact, nothing close. And here's our handsome model testing it out. We get to our test track and the bumps are really sharp, and we have 220 pounds of weight. And I think this is the key strength of this rack, is you can carry 4 heavy bikes. And now we do a diagonal hit, front, back, left, right, and you can see a lot of sway, a lot of movement, but all the bikes are going in the same direction, so not rattling at all. But a little sway is not a bad thing, it dissipates energy. But still, I will learn to trust this rack later after the road trip. I wouldn't ram onto these speed bumps as of yet. So pretty handy, and like I said, the ability to carry 4 heavy bikes on not the smoothest roads, freeways, freeway dividers. You know what I'm talking about. You're going 70 and you hit these uneven dividers. It's pretty scary. And now we take out the bikes again. Core strength of this rack is, you're never really lifting the bikes. You're just using physics, rolling to get them on and off. Thanks a ton, everyone.